difficult. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for Victor Allen's New Sports. Written, produced, and directed by Victor Allen, the tall, dark, handsome one, the ones that the ladies have nicknamed Sexual Chocolate. That's right, Victor Allen's New Sports. Hot, sexy. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Vic.
Why couldn't you just give the intro to your co-host? I mean, you get a chance to have a wonderful co-host.
She would have said,
right on your lap.
It's that sporty stuff. Raw, goatee.
Well, let's go and talk about it.
Now.
Here we go, you guys. The bottom line is, if you don't know his name, it's called T.O. And I want to ask the question, and the question is, are we witnessing the end of the T.O. era? And the reason why I asked that question is because if the Oakland Raiders, who has been what they call the place where they pick up players similar to his profile, and they don't even bring him into camp, and they actually signed T.J. Houshmandzadeh, who basically is not going to the Hall of Fame.
Much harder name to pronounce, too, by the way.
Yeah, T.J. Houshmandzadeh. Okay, now let me just say this. He is a physical specimen, and everybody in football actually commend him from being one of the best conditioned athletes.
Works out.
But something happened recently, and it's still somewhat, let's just say this. It's official, unofficial. On October 6th, emergency call. He was rushed to the hospital. The assistant reported, and they're saying it was misquoted, but she said he tried to commit suicide. That's the quote. Now, they're trying to rush back on it and say it was misreported. No one has received the details on this, but this is the second go-round where this has come in, and people do have concerns about it. With that being what's happened recently, even speculative, is it better to stay away from T.O., or is this the end right now, Mario? What do you think?
Well, I think it's a sign of a stress. They legally, the people at the hospital are totally, and they know this, are bound to not say a word. Not only can you lose your job, but it's a criminal offense to release that information. But it's funny, 911 calls are public information.
That's right.
So
it's documented.
So when you call 911, the people can get a copy of that because it's public information. But they can't get any of your hospital stuff because that would be illegal on a bunch of fronts. So he certainly may have done something, made an attempt. To me, a lot of athletes are way more fragile than what you really see because they're acting a certain way on the field. You especially see it sometimes when they're in social situations. They're not good with women. They're not comfortable with the conversation. They look stressed. They have a narrow range of information, many of them, or experiences and topics, and therefore they don't have a lot to talk about. So it's very difficult for some women to bond to them.
Yeah.
T.O. was a little different, in that sense, but certainly had what appeared to be layers of sensitivity.
Yes, he did.
So does Ocho Chad. A bunch of them have these layers that you start to see, which we should have expected.
Right.
But we never got a chance to see before because they were being so macho.
Right. And I'm only saying this. It's one thing that we can definitely tell. And somebody says, sometimes your life is wrapped around what it is that you do. And if you're not doing that anymore, you have no other place you can go and focus mentally. And I believe that that's one of the things that T.O. represents. He is one of the best NFL profile players on and off the field. But I believe if he's not in football, it's not happening. Here's the other thing. I actually think that the October 6th incident still doesn't carry that much weight. Why? It only carries if you're playing. And since he's not playing, you pay to get information. Mario, you said it right. They'll pay TMZ or others who get information and say, how much is it worth? But then he's not playing, so we can't have this story going. Because if he went to the hospital, but he's not on the football field and we don't get to see him, then it doesn't have as much energy. And I think that's what's happened, because why wouldn't they follow the story?
It's certainly not as newsworthy, right?
It's not. He's got to be playing. If he's not playing, he has no weight.
Aging ball players who start to unravel in public. Yeah, that's a cliche.
Right.
That is.
It is. It is. It's one of those things that I can look at the person and say, okay, on the football field, I can have pros and cons on you, but I do wrestle with the thing that how are players treated after the life of the NFL. And I do hope that he finds an outlet, because the TO show and everything else. And I don't know if Suzette, if you ever follow sports shows or reality shows, and I'm not sure if you follow TO, but it's one of those things. I have this human connection that says, man, I hope you do better, because I really think you out of the NFL, it's not going to be good. That's just a personal opinion.
I think that athletes, I think it's such, you have to be so disciplined. I don't know a lot of athletes. I think that if you play basketball, you lived and breathed that from the time you were a child.
Yeah.
And I have found that there is a disconnect.
Yeah.
Because someone who played sports their whole life, they're just way more disciplined than you and I are.
Yeah, they are.
And things tend to be black and white, black or white.
Yeah.
You know, there is no in between with them. And I find that maybe that's why they have a hard time once that career is over.
Really, because it's no different when you think about this, you guys. It really is common in other industries. How about industries where women are beautiful?
Yeah.
Or talented people? How about Elizabeth Taylor, one of the most beautiful women in the world, who then ages? Mm-hmm. And like all of us who age, you change. Many of us have had to deal with the idea of age being a change in our lifestyle. Athletes are no different, but you can imagine dancers. There's so many things that are affected by age, and therefore you get back to this whole issue of how we define ourselves.
Right.
Because it doesn't have to be terrible.
No.
You see other people walk away from football like Barry Sanders.
Yes.
And refuse to let those things define them.
Correct.
So many people. So this ends up becoming a personal. Suzette, is faced with the same kind of issues regarding her beauty.
Yeah, last forever. Don't last forever, baby.
Does that define me? And but you run into a point where even in women that are beautiful, many will tell you they get tired of people responding solely to that. That's why often they end up getting with a man who looks at them differently, deals with their mind differently, because that's what they see. Well, T.O., like many of us, has to deal with the life changes of aging.
Of course.
And I've had to deal with them, people I know. And I understand it's very hard for our egos to change and not be able to do those things. But one can embrace these things, right?
Right.
In ways that are both enlightening and beautiful to watch. And that becomes a choice.
Yeah.
I think choice is the perfect word. Mm-hmm. I don't know if everyone knows how to do that.
Yeah.
I think T.O. is acted out over the years.
Yeah.
It's, on and off, and I've seen him in compromising positions online, like, oh, wow, why are you there?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't even know if, for him, doing a reality show is the best thing.
Right.
Right. Dennis
for him personally.
Those focus on the negative. They want dramatic things. Like Kim Kardashian's reality show. How could they not? They're already showing clips of her family talking about her soon-to-be ex-husband.
Right. Well, you look at it,
an
example like Dennis Rodman. I mean, he did whatever he could after the basketball life, because your legs go away. Yeah. T.O. is 38, pushing 40. Your legs are going to go away, and you see it. And even in his profile workout, it's always a stage, to mobilize a stage. And with that NFL tryout, where none of the NFL teams came there, they said, well, that wasn't a success. But here's the exit question on T.O. Will T.O., because games are to be considered, and each week we're having teams go up and go down. This week, this is a great team. This week is another team. Right now, just so you guys know, and Mario knows this, the San Francisco 49ers are being ranked as like the number 2 team in the NFL. But a few weeks ago, they weren't even in the top 15 or 20. Will a team that is struggling on the cusp of playoffs consider or bring T.O. in? I think there's the last chance that because the playoffs are so near, will a team pick him up before the playoffs, right at the fringe of it? What do you think, Mario?
I don't know, because I kind of thought he would have been picked up already. And the fact that he hasn't makes me wonder if there's something more they know that we don't know.
Yeah.
I really thought by now.
I did too. I thought he was in.
I would not have bet. In other words, he just, because he had a good year last year, relatively.
Right. Yes, he did.
But people are obviously saying the same thing about age. And I don't know what he's asking for in terms of money.
Yeah.
Because often that's part of it too. You can make yourself a bargain.
Yeah. Imagine going out and your life is over as a magnet and you're not the attention getter. You have to be used. If you're used to getting that and you want that all the time, and that's usually around us, because sports has forever changed. They now know you just can't be a football player, basketball player. You have to be something else to continue, because competitively, other people want your spotlight, your time, and it does relate to your contract. And Tim Tebow is a perfect example of how it's splitting traditional ways of looking at marketing you, and whether he achieves a certain performance level at quarterback, he's been forgiven compared to what it's been in the past years. And you see that his whole marketing push is to keep his controversy up. That's money, man. So I don't worry whether he's
doesn't
delivering
represent
or not.
that anymore.
No, he's not that.
And that's the issue too, even with the brand, and that's going to affect also the reality show.
Yeah.
So, and for many of people like this, once the world stops caring or paying attention to you, that's the hardest thing for many of them to deal with.
Yes, it is.
Was everybody used to, I would say something and they come by and all the cameras want to catch what I say. Well, now no one cares.
Right.
And that's going to really be, when they walk into the club and no one crowds around them,
hard.
That's going to be hard to take.
All right, you guys, going out here, we got another question. I know this one hopefully may not take up the entire segment.
But Suzette liked the picture, I think.
I think Suzette loves the picture. She's going,
no,
I've been
no,
there, done that. Been there, done
okay.
that.
She said she wasn't that impressed.
No,
okay.
She's seen that already.
Well,
that's how it goes.
That's why I don't work out.
Forget it.
That don't press it. What chance I got?
Forget it. All right, we're going to go over to our next spotlight here. The next question is going to be an interesting one because Congressman Bobby Rush actually had a quote in more words than said by anyone I've heard. He said, is the NCAA, and he didn't say is, I'm asking the question, but he says the NCAA is the most ruthless, vicious organization ever created by man, and he likens it into comparison to Al Capone and the Mafia. Mario, is it
It may be a bit of an overstatement, but he's on the right track.
He's in the direction.
They're thieves.
Yes.
Long-time thieves. They thieve. They flourish because of the ways they're able to take advantage of athletes today who really get taken advantage of.
Right.
They get used and abused. They don't get shit. The school's making money off of millions of dollars, the universities, and it becomes a money-making institution for them.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm all for the students getting some of that money. I think they should be allowed to unionize and demand money from the universities.
Right.
And they got so many bowls today. They got the Fiesta Bowl, the something bowl, chitlin bowl, toilet bowl.
I'm saying, let me say. Now let me say this though. That's cold. Now here's the part that most of us take for granted. And I think it's hard for people to frame the story because we accept that the NCAA, which is probably one of the most successful organizations in franchising itself to get revenues. They created a BCS bowl system. They created interleague or
it's a monopoly, Vic.
Championship.
It's an illegal monopoly.
It is. And let me just say this. The fees are going up for students in college while the revenues are increasing for the conferences, their presidents, their lobbyists, and everybody, if you didn't know this, conferences in basketball or football do have lobbyists, which means they go out to get revenues. I'm not saying it is likened to the mafia that way. I'm saying that this is a corporate enterprise that its bottom dollar is that if you get 10 cents more of us, we have to get 1,000% markup for giving you 10 cents.
They are pimps at the least.
Yes.
They are pimps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they are. So let me just say this. Here's a little vote for you. You could tell me, what do you think? I actually said, how accurate are the sentiments and opinions of the NCAA by Bobby Rush? Well, we already alluded to it. So since I want Suzette, who brings such wisdom into this program.
She does.
She brings a fragrance of air, quality. It make a single man want to not be single anymore.
That's right.
I sit there and say, I want to call my ex-girlfriends and tell them how much I love them. I love that they don't call me anymore. But anyway, okay, let's go.
Have nothing.
Let's go over to this. All right, here's the question. You tell me which one fits the best. How accurate is the sentiments? 1, no, absolutely not. They are not that vicious, ruthless organization. 2, yes, and then some. They are. That's the one I can't wait to hear. No, this is way overblown. The story, totally. No, they're just ruthless, but not vicious. No, they're vicious, but not ruthless.
It's a lot of choices.
It sure is. And I'm gonna have you. You're gonna have to remember. Recall.
That was harder than Cosmo.
That's right, Cosmopolitan. The last one. NCAA is a model corporate sports organization. What do you think, Suzette? What do you think? Pick anyone.
Well, I won't lie and say I know so much about sports.
She does. Yeah, I know.
But I will say that any huge corporation is going to always look out for the corporation first.
Right.
So I don't know if it's as
Black and white.
Say, I won't say it's way overblown, but I'll say yes, and then some.
Oh, there you go. I got me a then some. Thank you. You know what? You come back.
Insightful.
No, wait, I love it. She picked yes and then some. I can't wait. Mario, what do you think?
Well, such an astute judgment. Such an insightful look into the penetrations. Low,
I just
the
kept
clothes.
it
The
100.
emperor is wearing no clothes.
I love it. Come on now.
You go, girl.
Yeah, Mario, you got to pick a vote.
I'm going to say the NCAA is a model corporate sports
I knew
organization.
it. I knew it.
Wow.
Oh, see,
Because
look at
all
this.
because corporations are soulless things created so that the people behind it can remain anonymous, so they can do their dirt. That's why corporations exist.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right.
So
that was
they're
easy
part
one.
of the regular thing.
I got the 2 votes I wanted. Mario, I knew with his insightfulness will pick the model organization, because if you're a model of success in corporate mongering, you do get that compliment.
And we like models.
You know what?
That's why Hot Picks is coming up next.
I want
All
to
about
agree
the
with.
models.
I want to agree with Suzette because she said yes and then some. But I actually absolutely agree with Mario, because you are a modeled organization,
Mm-hmm.
and you're corporate mongering, and you're successful
they're
at
good
doing
at what
it.
they do.
Yeah, they're good at what they do. All right, getting out of this segment because I'm pushing out of this. Our next one is called Do You Believe? And when we say do you believe, you just have to say I believe it or I don't. All right, there's a wonderful picture of Derek Fisher, the Laker.
Jesus.
The Laker. You know what? Stop being.
He like at the pulpit.
Wait, the Laker.
I know.
Be at
Okay.
peace with yourself.
That's cold, man. He's using an old quote I used to do back in my fake days. All right. Do you believe NBA Laker Derek Fisher will someday be on the other side and in the future be our NBA commissioner? Yes or no? Mario. Think about it now.
Wait, what is the second?
That's a
one?
good. I don't know. Possible. Derek Fisher is. I really like Derek Fisher. He's one intelligent brother, and he's a good brother.
Yeah.
So that might keep him from being commissioner, because they don't really want you. You got to be able to sell out.
Wait a minute.
Of course, the president hasn't done that, but Derek.
Well, wait a minute. Now, I know Suzette follows the Lakers, don't you?
She scooted over. a
You
little
follow the LA Lakers, don't you?
Not really.
Not really?
Yeah. Sure do.
Chicago, like,
Yeah.
Okay, well, Jimmy, I'll do this for you. I'm gonna give
You
you a
don't
rescue.
care about
I'm gonna give you a
athletes.
rescue. Just say yes or no. Derek Fisher will be one day the NBA commissioner. Yes or no?
That's Derek Fisher right there with the yellow tie.
I just don't know. I don't know anything about him.
You don't know? Okay, so let's say he's a model player, tenured.
He never
championship-
dated a Kardashian.
And wait a minute. And let me add
Never
something
did.
to it. There's an NBA lockout going on right now against the ownership. This is the players' union. He's the president representing the players. Bless you. So he is in a position of what they call intelligent decision making. And also, leave her alone, man. Leave her alone. And also in that position of making what they call the best choices, dealing with money on the table in excess right now between $2 to $4.4 billion is on the table to negotiate. When a person is sitting up there representing all the players of the NBA, what do you think?
Wait, what was your answer?
Whenever Suzette says yes,
No, was that your
and
answer?
definitely always.
He said yes.
Because who knows? I can't understand the question.
I mean, I'm feeling like Vic wants me to say yes, but I don't.
How do you
know
feel about
enough
that?
about him to
Okay.
say that.
So you could give in to his wants or not.
I try to urge you.
What do
on.
I want you to say?
I
Look
mean,
at me.
you want him to be commissioner.
I'm trying to use-
I actually think this is the part where what, Mario, you need to leave her alone.
Trying
Stop
to use
that.
psychic. I'm trying to influence her brain with psychic waves right now.
She's like,
You liking me more? No,
You
it's not
know I
working.
love you. What are you talking about?
I'm trying to use the psychic waves on you.
I'll do this. I'm saying this. You're just wrong. Yeah, I can't see. I never. You knew my new sports. Never takes on the.
'Cause I
It never
told her
takes
to
on
guess. I
the
told her to
conspiracy
guess.
Wednesday. I have to
It's
deal with
like
the
asking me what a
buffoonery.
German dish is. Like, I don't know.
I know, but
you
you're
know
doing
what I
good.
mean? It's like,
I love strudel.
No, let me say
hey,
this.
what is that?
Don't even tell. Don't
Don't
answer.
worry about-
Don't answer. Don't answer.
And the cabbage thing.
Leave it alone. Don't.
It's like asking me that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let me say this. I don't believe he will be commissioner. I think you have to
Then
be.
what was all this about? I mean, you know, you were really
I told
pushing me.
you. I told you.
It's
You were
called-
trying to set me up.
I
Well,
told
I
you.
was just trying to make sure that you had a
Look at them questions.
conviction. All right, let me just
Yeah,
say
I see
this.
that second.
I know, just leave it alone. See, y'all supposed to not read ahead of time. You're supposed to let me do
Well,
my
I
thing.
can't help if I
Right there, the people age. Right there, right there.
Wait a minute. Let me get my
Suzette
vote.
Tomlinson suggested.
Wait a
like,
minute.
No, I didn't. I just got here. I
No,
was late.
Suzette,
Huh?
you were doing
You were
100%.
bad late.
You're supposed to just follow. Let me do my
okay.
flow.
Okay.
See, that's what I like about women who say, I don't have to follow your program. I do what I
That's
want.
what they all say.
I like that. All right.
I thought those Jamaicans were different.
I'm saying this honestly. I know I'm honestly saying that's wrong, man. That you're being prejudiced. You're profiling. Stop profiling. Here's what the part is. I actually don't believe Derek Fisher will be what they call the next embodiment of a David Stern. I just don't see that
we
his
still on that
makeup.
one?
Me either.
Yeah, I don't. So
He's
I'm
too
saying no.
short.
I'm saying no.
Too short.
Yeah, you know what? Let me go to the next one.
I just feel like I would know more about him if that were the case.
I agree. I agree.
I agree.
Like, why him?
Okay.
Because-
Out of
Too
everyone
short.
on the
Right.
team.
And who wears that color tie anyway?
Let me just go on. All right, here we
Oh,
go.
It's for the gold and purple.
Thank you.
Lakers.
You know what? Some people don't get it, do they?
Like I said.
I mean, he plays for the Lakers. Even I know that. I mean,
Go. You get some more points. You
Like
earned your
I
points
said.
back. All right, here we go. The next question, which of course Suzette can't wait to address. Do you believe Suzette Tomlinson suggested talk show host Rachel Ray should be our next and first female NBA commissioner? Mario, do you believe that she suggested Rachel Ray?
No, I think Tyra's the one she suggested.
Oh, okay. I'm
it was
standing
Tyra
corrected.
Banks.
Oh, Rachel.
Not Rachel Ray.
Not Rachel.
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Rachel's busy with those quick meals.
Oh,
this
okay.
isn't even a real question. Like, I never even said these things.
What are you trying to say? You trying to trivialize the
It's like
seriousness?
he just made this whole thing.
You think
about
Tyra's just a
Derek Fisher
casual
dude.
disregard of?
Like, he totally tried to sway me about this Derek Fisher dude, and he doesn't believe it either. The second question, to everyone who's listening, this is not even a real question.
What
I
did you
never
say
said-
about Rachel Ray?
I never said anything about her. I was late.
See, the little
remember?
ones, they can't trust these shorties.
Wait a minute. Let me
Can't trust
stop.
them.
But, I mean, you guys are putting words in my mouth.
Better words.
All right, let me go to the next
Hey.
one.
I'm sorry. You know, my mom used to do that. My mom used to do. Stop. My mom.
Wait. I'm so
I'm
sorry.
sorry. That was reflex.
Wait.
Whipping you. What?
Hey, you know what?
Smart ass,
Hey,
Mario.
Mario,
Smart ass.
you just got a taste of the wrath
She
of
pinched
Suzette.
me.
She went to the other side.
I hope you broke a nail.
No?
Oh, it's the gelatin.
Okay. All right, here's the last question going out before we go to our hot picks. Do you believe nobody on either side of the NBA owners lockout quoted, "Can't we all just get along?" Are you shocked by that, Mario?
I'm not shocked, but I think they really should listen to Rodney King. I have his picture up there on the wall. I know about Suzette. We keep Rodney's picture. You got Rodney's picture up?
I'm sure someone said that at home. Like, I've said that before. Like, why can't we all just get along?
There you go.
Why must we all beef with each other?
Greedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
But,
You said that?
yeah, if I said that in the house, like, why can't we all just get along?
What did they say back? Girl
We
shit.
all just don't still get along.
I know they're like,
We don't have to.
yeah, back out.
You know, that's the Jamaican in me. Like, if you don't want to get along, we don't have to.
There you go. That's an easy one. Yeah, Mario.
Short people got no reason to live.
This is then you know what? Stop that. We don't actually tell people to go to violence on this show. Unfortunately, we didn't profile Suzette earlier. We kind of thought that she would refrain from the pinching and all
She's
that.
violent. These black women
They're
get
kind
mad.
of violent, aren't they?
Where the white women?
And she's from Jamaica, though, man. She's a different animal.
They'll be here next week.
Okay, guess what, you guys? I'm done with New Sports. Mario, you can take us out of
I
here.
always do. Go get
I
a white
know.
chick.
Yes. Oh, man, the other side.
No,
Oh,
Asians.
man.
Asians are the
Wow.
new white people.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's New Sports with Vic. Special guest Suzette Tomlinson, bringing her own unique insight into sports. Now we know more.